Okay, good morning. My name is Chris Caius. I am Chairman of the Administration Committee in Kane County, and I am calling this meeting to order on Wednesday, October 15th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. Can we have roll call, please, Savannah?
Arroyo, Garcia,
Here.
Gums,
Comes here.
Young, Juby,
Juby here.
Caius,
Guys present.
Roth.
Roth is here.
We have a quorum. Thank you very much. May I have a motion and second or ask for unanimous consent for the approval of the minutes from September 10th, 2025?
Mr. Chair, Gums
This is
asks
Gums.
for you unanimous consent to approve the minutes. September 10th, 2025.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any changes or anything other than that, then that consider those minutes approved? And is there any public comment? I don't have any here, nothing. Okay. Different day, different meeting. Okay, then the financial report is on file it's in the agenda. Move on, and then we'll proceed with item 7, Executive Director's Report. Mr. Executive Director Roger Fonstock. Roger, you have the floor.
Good morning, Roger Fonstock with IT and Building Management. Blair, if you could get the presentation for the 2026 capital budget for us. So as you're aware, the operating budgets for much of the departments are already submitted. The capital budget for IT and Building Management has also been submitted. So I wanted to bring what is sitting as a submitted budget with finance right now for the capital budget for 2026. I'd preface this by saying that we looked at the projects in 2025 that need to be completed in 2026, and there's an explanation about how projects just for capital take time. They typically start during a fiscal year and may finish in another fiscal year. They might take 2 years, or they might take a little less than 2 years, but generally you're going to go from one fiscal year to another. So there's some overlap from 25 to 26 that has to be budgeted. And then there is a difference between what you would consider to be the fund balance, or the amount of money in the capital fund, versus revenue from the fiscal year that the county board would put into the capital fund. So from the direction in finance and what we've determined, we were under the impression and direction that there were no new dollars going into the capital fund for 2026. Last year, I believe they moved $6 million into the capital fund, and we budgeted about 12 million of the total. I think we had somewhere in the neighborhood of 14 million in actual monies. And there were $2 million that were not budgeted. So there were about $2 million left in the actual fund, as opposed to the 12 that was allocated, or actually in the expense budget. So you take all of that information and you take the projects that are unfinished from 25, put them into the 26 budget first. Those have been done. Then we have a few things that we need to take care of in 2026. And we were trying to do that and did that within the actual fund balance. And that's what you're going to see. The within the fund balance means that we're not asking for additional money to go into the general fund capital. And we're trying to get it all done with existing funds that are in the capital fund balance. I believe when all this said and done, if we were to finish all the projects in 26, you would have about $800,000 to $1 million left in the capital fund. And I don't anticipate that all the 2026 projects will finish, just like all the projects in 2025 did not entirely finish. We still have some carryover year to year. But what that means is that as you approach 2027, you're going to have a limited amount of capital in the capital fund. And you'll see from the charts what we think a 5-year projection is. And we redid the 5-year projections for the plan, and you'll see how that plays out and how much money would be needed to keep up with a 5-year plan in this presentation. So we'll go through this and take questions if you have any. And then there's a few other items that are not in the presentation that we're contemplating now, and I could discuss some of those. So real quickly, we're going to go straight to the meat of the topic. This is about what I just explained. In fiscal year 2026, the capital expense budget is $8.8 million. A good portion of money from 2025's capital expense budget, which was 14 million, is still available. The net difference year over year is 5 million. So we're going to go down $5 million. It's $5 million less than last year. But last year you provided $6 million in additional funding. And with all the ARPA projects, we still have roughly $7 million in the capital fund that's going to carry over into 2026. So as you read the ITD capital carryover, 800,000, building management's about 7 million. And those projects would finish in 2026. We're going to show fund balance utilization of 1.1 million and a total funding for capital at 8.9 million. Again, that's no additional funding coming from the general fund or from your revenue for 2026. That's how this is laid out. So the capital budget would be 8.9. Some of the major projects for building management, we have the remainder of the ARPA HVAC projects for the Adult Justice Center and Pipe Chase. That is going to be a large amount of work that we're trying to finish by the end of next summer. We are not going to be waiting until the end of the year. The projects have to be finished in December. We want to be finished well before the end of November, so we don't have to do budgeting for 2027 for these projects. Technically, if you wait till the deadline of the ARPA, you would actually have to budget this in 2027 for December of 2026. So we're trying to work with ARPA and finance to make sure that everything is completed. We're maybe a month to a couple months ahead of schedule for ARPA, but that's a large amount of our work. The next one is the Adult Justice Center HVAC, kitchen, and laundry renovation. We have about, it's about 1.2 million in HVAC work that's being done in the kitchen. It's all of the overhead vents and hoods and heating and air conditioning and ventilation in the area. And then in 2026, you're going to see a budget for about 2.4 million to renovate the 2007, 2008 version of the kitchen. The kitchen has been in use since that time. So it's approaching 19 years old. It's been used daily, day in, day out for all of that period of time. A lot of the equipment, a lot of the mechanicals, the pipes, the plumbing, the fixtures, the doors, the walls, you'll see some pictures in a little bit, are in desperate need of renovation. So we had a bid go out. It just came back. The bid came back in at about 2.2 million. And that's actually on the agenda for today as well, is to approve of that. Our plan would be to start the kitchen renovation as early as December or January. So we will be in fiscal year 2026, and we'd be starting the renovation of the kitchen. This has to be coordinated with all of the inmates and food service, has to be coordinated with corrections and the sheriff's office for security. We are doing the heating and air conditioning under ARPA, but the capital kitchen renovation would be from this capital fund. The next item is the sheriff impound lot. Since the relocation of the sheriff's office from Fabian to the judicial center, the impound lot has kind of struggled between the old site and the new site. And we don't have an official designated impound lot at the judicial center. They have used some surface lots and some things to store vehicles. And we've been working with the sheriff's office and the architect to plan a site for an actual impound lot to get the impound vehicles into a secure location, properly drained with all of the filtration for leaking fluids, and deal with some security fencing. Also some ability to mask the appearance, potentially some type of cover that we could put around it, because the vehicles are not that sightly to see. So the neighbors can see, I believe they can see some of them, but we're going to try and get some screening put in as well. But the impound lot is something that we believe is a pretty critical and important project to close out the Fabian site. Again, we'd like to start that project in early spring and finish it in 26. There's the next one is the completion of a 2025 project, which is the fire panels. We've been working on this. This was over a $2 million project in capital, and it's replacing the emergency fire panels and devices throughout the Judicial Center, Circuit Court, and the courthouse. We completed the Juvenile Justice Center this year, and we're probably, I'm going to say, halfway. I know everybody there in the department would probably tell me we're a third of the way, but I'm going to say halfway through the Judicial Center right now. And we need to finish the alarm device replacements. So that's going to continue from 25 into 26. And like I said, there's about a $7 million carryover of money from 25 to 26, which is budgeting some of these projects. We have some HVAC life cycle replacements. Again, we buy condensers, compressors, motors, large mechanical devices to improve the life of depreciating capital assets. That $600,000 is to go through mechanical things like VAV boxes or different devices and mechanical systems that carry the cooling and heating through the buildings. We think that that's a good practice to do the capital depreciation replacement. You're going to see that every year from now on. We're going to try to do all the capital depreciation maintenance of equipment through a more distributed and level funding, as opposed to hoping that we'll get a large amount of ARPA funding in 1 or 2 years. So we got to start investing in that replacement. Same thing that we do with IT. You'll hear us talk about life cycle replacement. We replace 300 computers a year to get through 1,500 computers in 5 years. You won't see us come in and ask for the price tag of replacing everything, hopefully. We do have some Elgin Health building repairs and renovation for court services. We are working to get health and the clerk into the building between Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. That's our short-term plan right now for that. And then this would be to relocate court services from their leased office in Elgin to this building. And the main expense in this is we have to get 3 bathrooms for them in that portion of the building where they're at. And then they also need like a break space and a little bit of construction for some management offices.
Mr. Chair Gums, I have a question.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Gums?
Real quick question.
Sure.
About the court services and whatnot going into this Elgin building.
Yes.
I do have questions about that because I'm not sure how we got there. I don't know how that happened. So if
Okay.
you could explain how that happened, that'd be great.
So the building, largely as it was purchased, it's in good shape. And then when you go through to do the concept planning, which we are going to be presenting at the health committee with Michael Isaacson for the concept of developing the building more thoroughly. There was a discussion about where court services would go in the building, which end of the building. Obviously, because of the probationers coming in, they wanted to have separate entrances, separate side of the building, keep them a little bit separate from health and from the clerk.
I don't mean to cut you off. I understand
Okay.
that process of it.
Sure.
I don't remember, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't remember having the conversation about who we were going to move into the building ever.
Okay. Going back to the original planning, if you want, I could pull it up, but I don't have it with me. The original.
I'm sure it's just an easy answer, but I just.
Yeah,
don't know
the
what it is.
original discussion had multiple tenants that could potentially occupy the building. We had the health department, the county clerk, the sheriff talked about having a satellite person there. It wasn't anything extensive. And then there was a discussion about the fact that the court services leases space in Elgin, and if they gave up their lease, we could potentially move them into this space to offset some of the costs of the lease in this building. So that was in the original discussion of kind of uses for the space. And I could provide those to you if you want to see the actual original paperwork that went to the committee of the whole, and I think it was even a part of the
I believe so
purchase.
too, but can we take that offline and?
Yeah,
and
we can
Yeah.
take it
get that
offline.
information? I understand.
yeah,
the question,
thank you.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Yeah.
And it's important to know just exactly how this
Yeah,
transpired.
no, thank you.
So if you want to get
Yeah,
that information to her.
I can bring that.
Can I just toss in that as long as I've been here, there's always been talk about trying to bring services to one location so that people know where to come because there's the government center. But the fact is that there will always be, I don't care how big a building we build in Geneva, there will always be satellite offices because the services need to be close enough to the people. And this is
Yeah.
an example of that. So.
And I believe there's a pretty clear paper trail or
Yes.
what discussions were that will help explain that, I think. So if you would get with, does
Yeah.
that sound reasonable to you, Madam Go?
I think that, and then the concept plan that we're trying to take through health, because health purchased the actual, or their funds purchased the building. We were trying to work through the health committee to make sure that whatever uses are assigned or space is assigned, that they feel that it is equitable or how they want, because they are the primary tenant. So, let's see. So that the 250,000 is for court service renovation of the space to get them in there. I will tell you that the lease, I believe, for court services in Elgin is about $70,000. So you'd see some movement of hopefully the residual of that into operating the building. But that's something that's funded by the general fund, I believe, anyway. Fabian Recycling, as you may know, on Fabian Parkway, we have a surface lot for recycling that's needs some TLC. It's in rough shape. The asphalt is deteriorating. There's also some need for some fencing and a gate and kind of to prohibit or help stop the fly dumping and things. We've put aside $300,000 to do the lot and try to get some type of screening again, fence, gate, maybe some signage. We'll be working with environmental water resources with Jody Wolnick to try and get that.
You're trying to keep me out, aren't you?
Yeah, we had a we
You know
had
I
an
drive
issue-
around that property.
we had an issue with some dumping, people dropping stuff off out of hours, and that, and along with the maintenance of the lot and some other things, we're going to try to make some improvements. And then the last one was the Amasa White roof replacement. We have talked about this. It's been discussed about the condition of the building. The building's not used for anything. It is sitting. It is one of the oldest structures in Kane County. It's on our property, and probably I think it was maybe 15 years ago or something like that. They put a rubber membrane over the top of the roof to try to protect it from leaks and water. And this would basically be removing all of that and putting an actual roof on the building. We're not sure exactly how far this will take us because we need to get someone who specializes in historic roofs. I believe some of the roof trusses are actually like cut timbers. So if you have to go through what is a proper way to fix that or to address the roofing. And this will be a start in that direction. But the problem we run into is every year that passes, the structure gets to be in worse condition. We've had the historical preservation folks come and ask us if we're going to try to take steps to protect the structure. We obviously, I don't think we can renovate the building. That's just way beyond our financial means. And we've talked to them about whether or not they can raise funds to try to help preserve it or restore it. But this is something we felt we should do to try to protect the structure itself. And then we did add fencing around it to try to keep people out of it safety wise. And we've done some brush cutting around it to keep the weeds from, they had vines growing up into the bricks and trying to keep all of that out of the building. So that's really what we have in the capital for building management. Those are the main projects. And I was discussing before the meeting, these are a little bit flexible as things come and go, we adjust. As things come in less or more, we adjust. But the total is pretty much set by these.
Would this be appropriate if somebody
Yeah.
has questions at this point about any of these items to ask specifically about
Sure.
them? Or are you moving on to
Yeah, the IT projects, the main ones are next. We can go
Okay,
through those
but
too.
Maybe, yeah, you want to go over those, but I don't know if it's, since they're
Sure.
fresh, and if there's any questions about any one of these projects that. Okay.
Well, I
think-
mean, Gum's here. I don't think there's time in the day to have a conversation about the roof. So
Okay. Yeah,
let's,
well, it's-
let's
I
bypass.
think
Well, I
if-
just,
if-
I
if
don't
you'd like to
know.
Have more of a presentation on what
Yeah.
the roof is. I think
Yeah.
that, and I think that one comes to mind too.
I know that's been I mean, it's a big conversation. So I don't
Right.
think this is.
If we want to set it aside, that's kind of what I was.
Yeah.
If you want to
I'm
bring
good
it
with that.
back and have more presentation on any one of these.
I would like to have more conversation
We-
about that plan for that structure. And I think just really quick, there are, the Historical Society is one option, but I think Roger, you and I have talked about this. There are some strange, really large coffee companies that actually are in the appetite for buildings just like this. So very large coffee
Coffee?
companies out
Yeah,
far west.
we can
There's
definitely.
like a whole program that this
Yeah.
particular, well, I think it's more than one agency, but they search out for historic buildings. They restore them. It's like a thing. So
Well, I think that's worth taking,
Yeah.
getting information to Mr. Fonstock, but are there any questions about whether we should go ahead with this or how much more information you want on any one of these?
Mr. Kais,
Go ahead.
all of these items are just putting them into the expense as a budget. They're not approving them. I mean, we would bring in the architect recommendation and plan, and then we'd have to go out to bid, and then you'd bring back the bid responses. So you'll have plenty of time to review any aspect of these as they go forward. They certainly will exceed $30,000 easily. So yeah, none of these are approving the actual work.
But if they all sound reasonable, if there's any more information on any one of them, then.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So the IT projects are similar in nature. They're planning and budgeting for next year. Probably the biggest change is time and attendance replacement. So we use a time and attendance system that probably is commonly known as Nova Time, but it was purchased by a larger company. I believe the parent company is UKG. And so they're basically telling us that the product that we're on is coming to the end of its life and you need to go to their flagship product or go somewhere and find another solution provider. And finance and Kathy Hopkinson asked that and budgeted $400,000 for the replacement of that system. That system does time and attendance for a large portion of our county employees. So it does the timesheets, keeps track of their vacation accruals, time worked, and we have time clocks in many buildings. So we need to replace the time clocks, the system, do the training, and all of that would take place next year. So it's a big project. It'll require a lot of coordination, but we think that's a good project because of the end of life type of scenario with our current product. We do PC replacements. We try to target 300, little over 300 computers every year. That's 292,000 monitor replacements for flat panels. We've actually seen a lot of increase in the use of monitors, people wanting to be more productive using 2 or 3 monitors to be able to see something and type on the other screen. It's been a big improvement, I think, in productivity. So we try to buy the monitors for the offices and departments. Switches and routers for our network is in there. Printers and copier replacements. Those are in there at 75,000. A lot of that is copiers. But the printers also, a lot of times people ask, how do you do that? I would tell you that it's more based on use scenarios than it is like a time frame. So some printers get burned up in a year by, like a records division. Others last 8-10 years because they print office material occasionally. So we do it based on assessments through our service desk and our team. And it's worked well, but we don't have like a life cycle for them. network cabling. We will end up doing some pretty extensive cabling if we remodel the court services area of the building. I think it'll be under $200,000. That's just a placeholder for us. We wanted to put something in there for the network infrastructure, and then potentially expanding all of the wireless gear up there in that portion of the building. Again, it's a placeholder. I think between those two line items, it'll be less than that, but we just wanted to make sure we had something in there for all the network infrastructure if we have to change the building. The portion of the building that's being used right now or planned for use for the health department, we're working on that. That might actually take care of a large portion of what is in that number, and that'll be this year. So again, just like I mentioned with buildings, we'll make some adjustments if we think that we're under these numbers, and then that money could potentially come back through. It'll come back through in this capital list, just like we do periodically, and we would add some different projects that were low hanging fruit that we could fit in. But those are the major IT projects for next year. I think time and attendance will be probably the biggest single project.
Mr. Roth?
Roger Roth here.
Sure.
With Windows 10, dropping support, are we bumping a little bit on the PC, or we're covered with the 300, you think?
I think our PC replacement, we buy the machines that are exceed the requirements
Right.
always,
Okay.
and we're very comfortable above the requirements.
Okay. So most of our Windows 10, you think we can upgrade to 11 is
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
saying?
I don't think we'll have a lot of problems.
Okay.
I think, how far are we along, Charles?
This is Charles Lasky with the IT department. So the desktop computers were in good shape.
Okay.
Since we have a cycle to replace them. We are running into a few issues with laptops. Just there's people that have had laptops that are,
Right.
8 years old. And so those don't meet the requirements. So we're dealing with some of those right
Right.
now. We've
Okay.
replaced quite a few of those, but
Okay.
that's one area that, as we're looking into things that weren't necessarily purchased by IT, we're addressing things
Right.
in those
Okay.
departments or things that were
Okay.
bought with ARPA funds. Where there's limited supply, some of the equipment we bought at that time were older models. So that's the only thing we're running into with
Okay.
Windows 10.
So
but-
it's more of the older ones that you're having you're gonna
Yeah,
have to replace.
but our PC replacement desktops are all in good shape.
Okay.
So just
Okay.
a few here and there that we're dealing with.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Next. So beyond the two projects, capital and you have the IT and building management, I put this slide in for a reference point for the from the facilities master plan, which had 3 items on here that I think are relevant to the capital plan. One was the health department renovation, which was a short-term 1 to 3 year. That's that top left oval that's in yellow. The bottom one is building management and public safety. It's additional surface parking at the judicial center. We're doing 40 spaces right now, and we're working on the impound lot. I think both of those projects will enhance the use of the campus dramatically. The new parking that we did behind the sheriff's office and along the qualification range or shooting range is already making an impact. I've seen people parking in there already. It's alleviating a lot of the pressure where people were parking along their drive or along the road or in the grass. So we're already helping with the parking situation. And then in the mid-range, there's the new satellite facility in Elgin. That's the evolution of what is happening in the building in Elgin. And that's where you get into the idea of having additional services like court services. Actually, court services is mentioned in this one in that oval. It's in about the second line of the midterm. But the other offices as well, getting into that to try to get a satellite office in Elgin. And there's plenty of space there. There's 46,000 square feet. Initially, the health department's going to use about, I think, 21 to 22,000, and the clerk is in less than 3,000. So we're not even talking about half the building going into use right away. It's going to be about half of it to start. But I thought it was important. Everybody always asks, how does these master plans work or how does a facilities master plan work? This is how we correlate like these things. Now, without injecting any additional capital, it's difficult to address some of those other items. So we have to look for outside funding. If there's any grants, earmarks, how would the county go about doing one of those other larger investments like a storage facility or expanding the juvenile justice center or, you know, rehabbing or renovating an entire office, those types of things. We also have some large challenges for space here at the government center where people are jockeying and looking for positions, looking for desks, looking for offices. So those are, and then you have the long term, which is the government center on the far end is like these buildings are pretty much perpetually in use. I don't know when the end of that is, but we had that down as, 10 years plus. We're here. So make the best of it and start fixing, remedying different mechanical systems and the envelope of the building, helping people get better use out of the buildings that we have. In the middle, you still have the adult justice center expansion. There's always been this interest in having the court clerk's office out at the judicial center and then expanding for courtrooms and other services. That one is a huge project. The financial impact of that, we've discussed it in the past, but it's a longer range type of plan. But we did get to where we're addressing the satellite offices in Elgin, and we certainly are dealing with the impound and surface lots at the judicial center and the needs there. We have our normal mission statement, which I think is important to us because we're always trying to look at the IT and facilities, and we get a lot of requests just to do basic fix it types of things. But when we're working at strategy for the buildings, trying to exceed their expectations, do what's necessary, and then try to figure out, well, what's the next step? What's the evolution of this? And I wanted to point out that like when we put the $600,000 in capital for the purpose of doing depreciation of major mechanical, it's trying to get to where we're not waiting for it to break before we do service and replace something, that will proactively be looking at items that we know are not working properly, and we will replace them during the year instead of waiting for major capital repairs. Let's see if I can get this to forward. We have the committee goals. I think that's something that we probably are going to need to revisit depending on what your plans are. But this was part of the committee goal, is to maintain the capital plan and the 5-year plan. Life cycle replacements, that includes all of our buildings and IT, software, hardware, physical infrastructure, those types of things. Then we have our own building management goals and objectives, which I've pretty much covered already. Information technologies goals and objectives, our structure of our departments, some descriptions of what we do. These are all kind of typical. This is how we prioritized the capital budget. And a lot of it focuses on maybe public safety and the judicial center campus, because we're providing safe and efficient facilities for people that are largely visiting the county at the judicial center. Most of the people are coming there. It's our largest facility, largest amount of traffic. It has 24-hour facilities with the jail and the juvenile center. And then the court is by far our biggest volume of people. So having safe and efficient facilities, maintaining the assets is second to us. And then preventative scheduled maintenance and upgrades. And then you get into life cycle replacement, maximizing the value of what you have. So if you have something and you can expand the use of it or you can use it more, that's really important to us. Then you get down to the end of the day and it's improving, expanding existing assets, improving energy efficiency, and lowering environmental impact. Sometimes those happen together. When we replace heating and air conditioning systems, we get more environmentally friendly, energy efficient appliances. All of our capital purchases that affect our energy and environment go through environmental water resources. We have them work with us on reviewing systems to make sure we're getting efficient equipment. And then, this has kind of been something that I've championed since I started here, is to always maintain what you own, take care of it, maintain your existing first, expand and improve it. If you can use it more, or you can leverage it for other offices, other departments, do that. Last thing you want to do is build and add new. It's the most expensive thing to build and add new. I know we talk about it from time to time, but adding new, is capital expense. There's additional maintenance to it as you expand those types of buildings and facilities. So we try to do the maintenance. We try to take care of what we own. We try to get everybody to use what we own more.
I have
Yep.
a quick question.
Sure.
Sure.
Gums here on the expand and improve existing.
Sure.
I know that there was a push from your team and consistently, I think everybody, to find space that we already have. I know there was a lot of space
Mm.
that was piled with crap and I know that was a big summer push. So I wonder how much space we acquired at this point through that summer process.
So-
Do you know?
I believe the former coroner's office behind here was emptied. It's relatively empty now. We have to do some work if anybody would ever use it. We haven't done that yet, but it's sitting. And then we're talking about what we could do versus if we had to actually renovate it with contractors. And I think we might look at the office part of it to do some light renovation with our own team. As far as storage goes, storage is still a problem. The stuff we moved from the location in the coroner's office to the new building in Elgin, they probably managed to reduce it by, let's say, 50%, but they moved it. And then I think at the current buildings, I don't know of any major reduction in storage.
Okay, I thought they were doing some projects throughout the judiciary to eliminate some of
I-
the.
They've reorganized some things and used more office space when they did reorganize it, but I don't know if anything's become like available in inventory that we have it.
I'm sure they haven't offered it to you, but if you could get back to me on that, that'd be great.
Okay, we could ask if there's anybody free space. No.
No,
Did we- did we
well, I
not-
mean, I
Yeah,
knew there was a
I
push, but
know.
they probably didn't share it with you, so.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay. Inside story.
We
The-
would, we help them when they ask to move things or need help. We would be a part of that, but then a lot of times it turns into they want to do that to use it for something.
Fair.
And we don't get it back.
Does that include the circuit clerk's office out there on Randall Road?
They moved out of their viewing library and allowed the state's attorney's office to renovate that space for diversion. And then I think there's some other services that they want. I don't want to speak for them, but we're putting in, I think is enough space for about 10 people at the circuit clerk's office right now. Mark Smith's working on that.
Good, thank you.
So these are just some of our methods, very simple stuff about reviewing and the master planning process, and then capital construction for new facilities is kind of dead last. We understand that. We have to, again, maintain, fix the things that we have. So I wanted to get through some of these slides that you've already seen before. These are some of the methodologies that we apply to each project, how we go about it. So when we talk about it at this point, we're planning a budget and allocating money to a project. The project itself has not been approved, and that's what this is about. You initiate the project primarily through this list that we have you approve, the capital list, and then we go into the initial planning, which is putting money into architectural plans, into the actual documents that would go out to bid. We take it out to bid at that point. And between the bid and the contract, you would go into execution. And then we have people that manage it for change management, manage it for change orders, manage the project budget and schedule. And then we close out and make final payments and get all the documentation, warranties, diagrams, things like that. But that's the basic project methodology that our departments follow. And this is where I told you, projects take a lot of time. We have to go through committee processes and board processes. So sometimes things, that seem like they should take only, a week or months, you get into 3-month increments, and this is how something ends up taking 2 years. I wish it were faster, but just that's the nature of government. We've managed to get a lot of projects in about 15 months, but it can take up to 2 years. So this, I wish it were a little bit larger, Blair. I don't know if that's possible, but this is actually the description of the 5-year capital plan. And we put these together more as a guidepost for the 5-year plan to get us an idea of how much money we would be spending every year over 5 years. And I think in previous years, you've seen some that approached like 40, 50, 60 million dollars. What I would tell you is that the last year and this coming year, we're going to be spending, I think we're over $20 million in mechanical work from ARPA. And that's a huge offset to our capital master planning. So what you're seeing is a lot of those major ARPA HVAC projects are taking them out of our capital plan. So what we have in here, probably the biggest area that you'll see is in a couple years, we have to start dealing with the envelope or the exterior of the Judicial Center, the exterior of the 3rd Street Courthouse, and the windows. The windows in those buildings, the Judicial Center, the windows are original. So they're roughly 35 plus years old, 36 right now, it'll be 37 next year. So we have to start looking at that. We wanted to put some money aside to have an engineering plan for the windows, also probably for 3rd Street, historic plan. How do they look and fit into the building that's relatively historical? So we're looking at those over the course of like 2 to 3 year periods in the future, where we would start working floor by floor or face by face and trying to replace the windows and seal the buildings back up. We have a lot of issues with windows. They're kind of infrequent. Some of them are persistent though. They come back. It's leaking. We try to fix it, come back, and it's just not going to get better. Not with the number of windows we have. Those buildings have lots of windows. So somewhere around item 21 and 22 in that list, you'll see a couple $1 million. And those are from preliminary estimates that we received from a couple contractors about the windows and the replacement of those windows. These were off the cuff, rough order of magnitude, ballpark, how much money. And those will get narrowed when we start talking to architects about the actual plans that are necessary. I see those as the next 5 years, something that we really need to get on top of and address. We probably will be looking at the exterior of the jail too more. During the ARPA project for the pipe chase and the exterior, the outer building of the jail, we found lots of issues with cracks and air getting through the outer building. There's scaffolding all the way around the towers at the jail right now, and they're fixing it. So that was part of the pipe chase, was to get that sealed better, get it ready for winter and summer heating and cooling. But I see those continuing, and we might even get to where, similar to the HVAC mechanical, there's a exterior envelope capital item for, we already do tuck pointing of brick, but some of those precast buildings require maintenance too. The joints start to separate, they crack, they get water, they deteriorate, and we have some really big precast buildings. So, but that's the 5-year capital plan. It's 30,485,480. Next year, we're showing 5.4 million. And if all things hold true right now, we would have, let's say, approximately $1 million left in the capital fund, and you'd need about 4.4 million to make the 2027 capital fund hold true. We're not saying you have to do that. We're saying that's how the plan is laid out, to do even distribution. And we kind of softened it on the front end in 27 and 28 and it picks up in 29 and 30 with the exterior of the judicial center and courthouse. We were assuming that by 2027, it won't get better or won't get significantly better. So what would you do? You try to keep your cost profile lower in those first 2 years while you're trying to dig out of the current revenue gap that we have. So, we'll be revisiting this throughout the year. When we do the capital plan next year, it might be that you start from $1 million, and if there's no more money to put into the capital fund, you start planning for what you're going to do with that money. So, but this is what we put together for a 5-year capital for building management. And Blair, can you go to the next slide? You might have to resize it again. And this is just a bar chart of the same information, and it describes the fiscal year 25, the budget, the encumbrances and rollover of 7 million for those encumbrances. So we have to finish those projects. So really, if you look at the budget, which is I think it was 8.9, we have quite a bit of it is in the carryover, and we'll go back to that slide. So these are the worksheets. You can look at these on your own, but they pretty much reflect the same information we've already gone over. It's just the fine detail. These are the transactions, the actual line items that we add to the budget to get the total, the 7 million. And these are more about our planning processes for IT, where we go through life cycle replacement. Like I said, most systems, they're in a 5 to 10 year life cycle. That's how we handle desktop servers, storage systems, laptops, peripherals, software. We try to upgrade, take advantage of all the software contracts that we have, maintain everything that we can, and reinvest through the life cycle of the equipment. We managed to do that for the last 20 plus years, and I think it's served us really well. This is the IT 5-year capital, and it shows it relatively flat. Again, you're looking at, 1.7 to 1.9 million every year for the next 5 years. And this is the total over a 5-year period. It's 8.9 million. And again, you'll see the numbers across the bottom are the totals for the different types of items that we need to buy each year out of capital for IT. And transactional information for all of the things that are in those line items. You can read those if you'd like to ask questions. I'd be happy to take those offline. But this is the bottom line for the capital budget. We have 8.87 million in expenses budgeted. We had a 2025 budget of 14 million. It's 5 million less. And how the money breaks down, there's a carryover from IT, a carryover from building management, which is about 7.8. And then there's fund balance utilization of 1.1 from the capital fund. And the total funding is 8.9 million for capital. And I think that is all we had for the capital budget. So if you have questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them now. We have Kevin and Charles, and then after the meeting, if you had questions, we could try to get through those. But this is what's submitted to finance right now and is being considered for 2026.
Any questions for Roger at this point? A lot of stuff, a lot of important things. Okay, well then we'll just move on with the rest of our agenda.
Thank
There's
you.
no questions. And then I have building management, Mr. Harris. You have a resolution, and I'll ask for a motion to approve, present and potentially approve authorizing updated capital projects from the capital fund. Moved by
Sonia Womo.
Garcia, second by
Gumzel second.
Gums. Mr. Harris.
Yeah, this is Kevin Harris, Building Manager. I think you've seen all this before. There's no change to the bottom line numbers Roger mentioned earlier. We're just showing some of the adjustments within the document itself. So no change in how we're and what we're spending, just how it's managed.
Okay, Ms. Gum, or excuse me, Ms. Juby. Left hand, right hand.
It's okay. So at our seats was this document, which has a different number than what's on the computer.
Yeah.
So what is that?
So in terms of the sheet that you have in front of you, there is one change that was made. It was actually made by finance, October 3rd. They did a journal entry where they moved $2,280,000 from ARPA into the capital fund for, the HVAC and pipe chase improvements. So you'll see that number about the right corner where it shows 2.571. That number was added, was 2.28 plus what we had already budgeted in the capital fund for it. So that was an addition that happened because of a journal entry from finance. And then the other notable change that we
Are these
made.
highlighted on there? Are we looking for something that's highlighted?
It's the bottom highlight for, if you look at the highlighted in yellow, it's the bottom one, which is Adult Justice Center, AJC, HVAC and pipe chase improvements. That was a change because they moved money from ARPA into the capital fund. And then the other change that happened that's different about the handout from what was in the agenda is the fourth line item, building improvements, Elgin Health, new health building repairs. That number was $1 million in the one we put in the agenda packet, and it should be 1.2 million. So that actually was updated in the handout that was provided this morning. So what we would want would be a motion to amend to change the new health building repairs -0004 from 1 million to 1 million to 1.2 million for this modified version that we handed out. And this is related primarily to the roof that was put on the building and some of the things that we had to repair to get the building ready for November. And what we're trying to do right now is to resurface the parking lot and stripe it and get ADA parking on it. So a large portion of this increase is to redo the parking lot, which we can actually get it done before the occupancy.
And this is on
Be
line
done
number
a couple
four-
weeks.
right, fourth line.
It's the fourth line under, it's a building improvement, new health building repairs -0004. And it would change from 1 million to 1.2 million or 1,200,000. We need a
May I
motion to amend it to that.
Okay, then that
May I
doesn't
ask a
include this other
follow-up?
change?
To that before we make a motion? I just need a follow-up to that answer.
Sure.
A follow-up
that
to that,
okay?
sure.
Okay, so was that 200,000 additional work that we didn't anticipate? Or is it work that we anticipated that we fast-tracked because we were looking for a November? I mean,
Oh.
$200,000, it's kind of a lot to, I just want to know how we got there.
We invited companies to come out to do seal coating and striping, which was, we have a bid for, it's about $28,000 to seal coat and stripe. And the contractor that we had on a bid, which was looking at it, said they would recommend that we mill and resurface it as opposed to just seal coating it. They basically were saying that it's due for, resurfacing. You need to do it in the next, let's say 1 to 3 years. So you can put it off and just seal coat and stripe. He's saying do the resurfacing and save your $28,000 for that. So apply it to milling and resurfacing the lot and striping it as opposed to just sealing what is essentially cracked and has some damage to it. But mostly you could seal it and use it for a couple years, but he's recommending that we replace it. So, and we're getting the proposals
That's a
finalized.
$200,000 increase.
There's 200,000. It's a little less than that, but we're trying to make sure that we have enough to get the building open in November. I think we're approaching what we had budgeted now, and we know that the mill and resurface, the preliminary estimate was maybe 130, 150,000. And we think by the time we get to the end of November, there might be a few other things that come up. So
Mr. Roth?
Is that a general fund or is that out of the public health's budget?
this is general fund right now, getting
Okay.
the building ready.
Okay.
Ms. Garcia?
Hi, Garcia here. I'm just
Yep.
confused. For the presentation you have on the capital expense, 14,000, and then over here it's 12,000.
Yeah, there is 14 million in the capital fund.
Okay.
And so we're not obligating all of that this year. And that's primarily some of the projects that are going to happen in 2026. We're using the other 2 million in 2026. So this is what we have planned. Actually, we won't get through the 12.9 million on here. We're going to have 7 million left that's going to go into, yeah.
And,
Into 2026?
and you're showing that, that's what you're showing, you're going to transfer from 25 to
On page
26.
26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Juby?
I'm sorry. So over the course of a year since we purchased this Elgin
Yeah.
building, we've seen a lot of additional costs that we hadn't anticipated in the beginning. This being one of them, because I recall it being seal coated. Is there a list that we can get
Sure.
of what we had to do that is different than what we planned? Because it's just seeming like this building, it's like, it's going up, but it's going up a little bit here and then it's going up a little bit there. And I'm not a real fan of that happening. So I just wonder if we could just have a list of where, I don't want to say where we went wrong in our guesstimation. I just want to know, if we planned on spending X amount of money on it when we all voted to purchase it, and then it's costing us Y. I just kind of want to know what that difference is.
So right now we're way under what we estimated to occupy the building because of the funding that the health department would put in to renovate it, but they have not approved the concept plan to renovate yet. So we're trying to get them to occupy the building. We did the heating and air conditioning with ARPA funds. And then we did I think it was about $700,000 in repairs to put a new roof on and everything. And then I think our contributions beyond that, we're looking at about $300,000 in fixing doors, concrete work and other things. But that's the $1 million that was planned for this year. And this would be an additional 200,000. If we don't mill and resurface the parking lot, we would seal coat it and stripe it.
For 28.
So,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
So is that something you're looking for figures on a page to look at?
Well, if we're not,
Yeah.
if we haven't done the jobs that we thought we were going to do, and we're already approving more than on the jobs that we actually did, I just want to know where we stand on what our obligations are going to be, what the health department's obligations are going to
Sure.
be. I recall the clerk was kicking in money as well. And I think if we're talking about an extra $100,000 in a parking lot that 3 or 4 different entities are going to be using, I'm not voting yes to increase that. I think we should stripe it. Everybody should move in and then we should all go in it together, because this seems an awful lot like one of us is doing a whole lot of work when it's the other one's building. And I just, knowing what we're going into in 27, 26, 28, I just think we need to just slow down a little bit.
Okay, good point. Gums?
Mr. Chair, in a broader spectrum of that conversation, we've had these conversations before, about how far can we push this without damage, right? So let's seal it as opposed to redoing it. I think that was brought up, I don't know, 3 or 4 different times. And I don't think we should do that either.
Should-
It'd be great if we could do it, but we're cutting people. If that's, it's possible we might have to cut people. I'd rather have a stripe than no human.
Is that something that a consensus that we would not have the amendment to increase that $200,000 from 1 to 1.2?
I would not be interested in supporting the amendment.
Because I don't want to have the vote and then go through the whole thing if we don't need to. Well, that's a two, don't bother. Well, but we could do we can do the motion and change it and then vote it down and change it, or just leave it the way it is. Right.
Just one
Mr. Ron,
question.
yeah.
Yeah, one question. You know, Roger mentioned he was able to use more ARPA funds than was originally projected, which would then mean we're not spending as much, and we have to use the ARPA. And wasn't it because there were other projects that didn't use ARPA funds and we got to use it by the end of 26?
Yeah.
So this was the,
A good.
Does that fit into that? I don't know.
It does to some extent, but yeah, ARPA funds have to be used by what you asked for in the grant application. So for this building, we specifically asked for the heating and air conditioning. So recently, yesterday, you approved, I think it was $46,000 to go towards this project for the building. We actually changed the risers and the gas line system on the roof. We put in some riser structure to help with managing the gas lines, and that was added to the project with that resolution yesterday. But you can't go and say you want to do parking lot with ARPA money because you didn't ask for it 2 years ago.
right.
So if you're a little bit hamstrung by that, but
I think the
Yeah.
basic question is, how much did we actually plan? What was and give me, if I'm wrong, I'm going in the wrong direction.
Sure.
Your question is, how much do we actually plan on spending on this building?
Yeah.
And where are we? Are we spending more than what we originally planned? And can you show us that in the,
sure. I mean, there's two major expenses. One was the heating and air conditioning, which is being done by ARPA money.
Mhm.
And then there was the roof, which I think that was capital. We put a new roof on the building. We did not get a roof through ARPA. So we wanted to put the roof on to protect the actual building. No more damage. We had some water leaks. That's been done. That was, I think, somewhere around 700 and some thousand.
was that calculated in the beginning?
Yeah, that was in this $1 million.
That was in the one.
Yeah.
Am I on the wrong track here?
We're up
I
to.
don't need that information for this vote. I just asked for it supplementally,
Sure.
so
Okay.
we can
We
have,
can do that.
it's
Yeah.
not germane to my vote on the parking lot.
Well, then should we go ahead and have it as a vote then?
We don't have a motion.
Well,
Need a
we would
motion
need
to
somebody to
amend.
present it as a motion.
Which one would you like me to present it as a
Would
motion?
be to amend the 100 million to 1.2, right?
Do you have
Isn't
the
that what-
original motion for the first,
Yeah, I asked for the,
Vanna?
didn't I?
No,
Yeah.
we don't have any motions on the floor right
We have
now.
no motions on the
I
floor.
believe,
You have a motion and a second to just pass the original resolution.
Yeah,
Oh,
we do have it, and it was
yeah.
Garcia and Gums that brought it forward. So we do have the motion to accept it as it is. The question is there going to be amendment to it?
Sure.
Not an amendment.
Official.
Mr. Harris asked for an amendment or suggested we amend it to do that. And that the amendment would have been to change it from 1 to 1.2. And
Yes.
that would include instead of just striping, we would be
We'd mill and
no,
resurface.
resurface. So, does somebody want to? Well, you won't, does somebody want to, present the amendment to raise it to 1.2? Is there a motion from the members?
It's good.
There's no motion, no second, so that we won't do that. Is there anything, Mr. Harris, on this one that would be?
No.
Okay. And that would be then to approve the capital projects from the capital fund, which is on this page here.
nope.
Okay. Mr. Fonstock,
Yes,
okay,
the original
okay.
as submitted.
Does that make sense to you, what we're doing on this one?
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to the health department and ask them if they want to fund
That's fine.
mill and
Just- I'm
resurface.
not- I'm with the process.
Yeah.
What we do after this, we
That's-
won't have the money to do it from this, what we're voting in. So, is there any other discussion on this? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item B.
Could you repeat who just voted on that? I
Four.
only counted 4.
1, 2, 3. That's a quorum.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Mr. Roth was voting. I'm so sorry.
No, I don't,
Okay.
it's not required, so he wouldn't vote.
Okay, all right. I just, for a minute there, just lost count.
That would be a point of order.
I'm an observer today.
Point of information, yeah. Unbiased observer.
Of course.
Then we're still carrying with Mr. Harris here. Item B, may I have a motion and second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing a contract extension with F.E. Moran Incorporated for Kane County Building Automation Systems, BAS, and repair services, bid number 52-021, moved by
Gums will move.
Dum,
Juby
second by
seconds. Juby.
Doobie. Mr. Harris?
Yes, Kevin Harris, Building Management again. So Effie Moran does our building management systems. These are our control systems we use to manage the buildings through either our control room or through our computers. And so this is just the final extension of the contract for Effie Moran.
And that was it's a final extension on how many year?
I believe it was a third and final extension. It's a 1-year extension.
1-year extension, right?
Yes.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harris on this? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Item C, may I have a motion and second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing a contract extension for water testing firm for the Judicial Center campus with Phygenics Independent Water Management of Warrenville, Illinois, RFQ number 22-009. Moved by
Gums.
Dum, second by
Juby.
Doobie. Mr. Harris?
Similar to the first one, so we use Phygenics, particularly on the Judicial Center campus for our water management solutions to make sure we're in compliant with all of our domestic hot water as well as wastewater. This again is a third and final 1-year extension.
And I'm sorry, did you have the amount on that?
I believe it's $60,000, and that's used as necessary,
Up to?
up to, yes.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harris? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Okay, motion passes. Item D, may I have a motion and second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing additional funds for lawn and maintenance services for Kane County facilities with Ratliff Landscaping Incorporated, bid number 40-020, moved by
Gums.
Dum, second by
Juby.
Doobie. Mr. Harris?
Yes, this is requesting additional funds to cover open work and open work orders for work that was done over the last 2 years with Ratliff. And so this contract expires, I believe, November 9th, and we're going to rebid it at that time. So this will allow us to take care of all those expenses.
What's the amount?
And that would be how much for?
I believe it's $200,000.
$200,000. Up to?
Yes, up to.
Questions? Yes.
I know it's not specific, but it is mentioned that we're going out to bid again. Can we make sure that weeding is included with the next landscapers? Because not a surprise, I've been very disappointed with the quality of work that I have seen around our buildings. So I just want to make sure we include weeding, specifically weeding in our
Oh.
bid. Thank you.
Yes, I'm actually, I'm
And
smiling.
weeding as a verb.
Yes.
Yes, it's usually weeding as a verb. Yes.
So I'll make sure weeding is included as a verb and not a noun, but yes, our team has actually identified that. We see the weeding issues, particularly on the Judicial campus, but also here as well. It's not a good look with the public coming into our spaces, our locations where it doesn't look like it needs to look. And so that is actually outlined in there. And then Roger and I, as well as my team here, are considering some other issues we need to put in place to hold our vendor accountable. So part of that's on us to make sure we manage it as well. But yes, weeding as a verb will be included in the next one.
Especially around the solar. field.
Okay. Any other questions about weeds? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Should be I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. Item number E, may I have a motion and a second to present, potentially approve a resolution authorizing a contract for the Building Management Department with Life Construction Incorporated for the Kane County Adult Justice Center Kitchen and Laundry Improvements, bid number 25-00-TL, moved by
Juby.
Doobie, second by
Gums.
Thumbs. Mr. Harris?
Yes, Kevin Harris again. This is in support of our sheriff and our adult justice center. The kitchen and laundry, I'm sorry, great. We have a slide here.
Let's see this.
Our project manager is Wendy Franco, and she helped put this together. So what we have is aging and failing infrastructure in the kitchen laundry, and this will also help us to improve our safety compliance and functionality of the kitchen and laundry. This includes electrical and mechanical and plumbing failures we're experiencing today. So those kettles that you see on the right-hand side are all steam kettles that are leaking. We have stainless steel that's pulling away from the walls. We have columns that the stainless steel is coming away from. If you can go to the next slide, you'll see on the bottom right-hand some of the plumbing issues. So the plumbing throughout the entire kitchen, this is just one example, is corroded. You see the ball valve there. All of our ball valve systems have corroded and no longer work. And when I say corroded, I mean actually they're leaking. So it's not just corrosion, the pipes have failed. And that's throughout the system. It's behind the equipment as well as above the ceilings. And the floors need to be replaced. They're cracked in many places. They're pitted. We have thresholds that no longer are against the walls. The bottom left-hand corner, you'll see there is a sprinkler system. And that's just one of many examples where our sprinkler system is failing. It's leaking in many places. So our team over the years has had to put in temporary clamps. So now our sprinkler system is riddled with temporary clamps, and now the clamps are failing as well. And so on the bottom right hand, you just see some additional examples of the failing piping and insulation systems. The laundry equipment, which you don't see on there, is also failing. The controls are failing on those. The soap comes out of the laundry. So just a lot of issues in our kitchen and laundry. The dishwasher often fails. So if you can imagine, those of you who have a dishwasher at your house, if your dishwasher ran and then it drained all the water into your floor every time, that's our experience right now in the jail. So it's a difficult place. It's got lots of issues. This helps us to get us to a place where we can run it reasonably well and maintain it long-term. And again, it's in support of our sheriff and the Adult Justice Center. It's just a lot of, the bottom line is we have a huge amount of aging and failing infrastructure. And this is one of the ones that are a higher priority for us to begin to address.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harris? Ms. Gums?
Quick question. When we're doing these repairs and replacements, whatever it is, are we gonna get the good stuff that lasts like for a very long time?
That is our intention, to get good stuff, but not great stuff, right? So we're not getting the high-end equipment, but we're getting equipment that's high reliability and works well. So we don't need a Mercedes, but we need a really, really good Chevrolet F1 or F-150, and that's what we're getting. So yes, and so the laundry equipment that we're buying, we believe will be not only good, but we can make it secure. We're putting in piping systems that are stronger scheduled. What was put in here often is Schedule 10 piping. So thin wall piping, we're going to put in stronger piping so it can last a lot longer. With these kinds of infrastructure improvements, you actually reduce your cost over time. And so that's what we want to do. So we want to put in really good equipment, but we don't need Mercedes level equipment.
Very good. I
Thank you.
appreciate that. And I only ask that because oftentimes we fall into that trap of cheaper is better, but it's really not because it costs us more money in the end.
Yeah, I think high quality is better, and you can get high quality at a good price.
And this material, this equipment's been in there 30 years as well, or the
I
jail?
believe this, and this is
2007.
beyond me. I think our team,
2007,
I think it's original to the jail. That's right.
almost 20 years?
Yeah.
Did you have a comment, Mr. Feinstock?
Yeah, just in this picture, one of the things that started this is if you look at the back hood vents and air conditioning system, we started with that as a part of an ARPA project to try to replace the hood vents and a lot of the, you can see the ceiling damage from all the stuff that happens in the kitchen. But then it just started that's one of the things when you start digging through a building like this, you start seeing everything that is not working properly. So this kitchen remodel is actually in cooperation with fixing the heating, air conditioning, hood vents, and ventilation. So while you're ripping out and putting in all of that, trying to fix all the appliances that sit underneath it, is what we're trying to do. And it's something that is original to, the building went live Labor Day weekend, 2008. So it's been in place and been in service for quite a long time.
7 days a week.
Every day, yeah, all the meals.
365.
And the other thing too is there's people that are staying with us that work in the kitchen too, so making it safe for them. And Blair, if you go to the next slide, one of the things that's interesting is like, and we're going to be working with the sheriff's office on this, like the doors that are in these areas. If you look at these doors, this is just one, but there's many like this where, 18, 20 years of people hitting it with carts and, backing through the doors with things. They managed to, pretty much destroy the doors in a lot of areas. There's a couple of the coolers that have similar problems where the doors have pieces of, metal that is coming loose from all the abuse that they've taken over the years. So the other one I thought was interesting is the grill. Yeah, you might have something bigger than that in your backyard to cook on, but that's one of the grills that they're using to cook for. I think we have about 400 people in the jail right now. So we could definitely use the upgrade.
My old eyes say, my suggestion for the next presentation, if we do this in another committee or this one, is to make those pictures bigger, please.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
Thank you. Any questions, any comments on this, other than the size of the pictures? Apologize.
This would start in December and probably take us a few months, but we're not planning to sit on this. It needs to work with the heating and air conditioning. So it will be, as soon as we get the December 1st agreements going after the board meeting, that's when it's going to start.
And
That
to be
amount-
clear, it won't
that
take a
amount
few
is-
months to finish. It will take about a year to finish it. So it takes about 12 months, and that's kind of consistent with Roger showed earlier in his project management process. But we're going to make sure we front end load this really well, which we've done so far, and then we actually run it well. And we've got a collaborative team. We have some of our members here working alongside with Chief Kadich and the others to make sure it's executed well.
Okay. All right. And that was the 1 point.
It's
I believe it's 2.1 million for this one.
$2,164,200 total.
All right. Any questions? No? Okay. Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Comes, yes.
Juby,
Should be I.
Caius.
Caius, yes. All right. Then moving on into information technologies, this is Charles Lasky. May I have a motion and a second to present, potentially approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of a justice case access portal software for the Kane County Circuit Clerk from Tyler Technologies, moved by
Comes.
second by
Garcia.
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 Let's not fight. Plenty of time for that later. Mr. Lasky.
Yes, this is Charles Lasky with the IT department. So Tyler Technologies, their court case management system is what's used by your judicial system, the circuit clerk, state's attorney, and public defender. There's a portal system that allows access from people from the outside to get in and look up cases. Our current portal system has reached the end of its support life. So this product would replace this. I met with Teresa Barrero last week. We discussed this as something that she feels is needed. This is budgeted out of our 127 fund, so it comes through the RTA sales tax. So this is something we would recommend approval on. It's something that they say they need. We currently have the state's attorney looking at the agreements. We got those over to them a little later than what we wanted because this kind of all came together a week ago. So they're still reviewing that. So if there's any concerns there, we may push this off. But since it is a Tyler product and we have already an agreement with them, we're hoping that their agreement to add this there's nothing outside of the norm there, but I do want to let you know they are reviewing that. So if there is a concern there, we may push this off a month, but we're hoping to get it done so we can meet this end of the year deadline to kind of get this project going.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Mr. Roth.
You said it's a portal? And then,
Yes,
so it's 40,000 per year and
yes, per fiscal year.
forever. There's no end to that until we cancel it.
Correct.
Okay.
There is an option that they said other counties have utilized. We don't know if it's something that would be acceptable from a legal perspective. But some counties actually sell subscriptions to this for larger companies that do background checks. And so some counties have covered the cost of this portal with fees that have come in. But we're not sure if that's something that's allowed in Illinois.
Okay.
So it's something that could offset costs in the future, but right now we're not counting on that.
I mean, for software, 40,000 is pretty cheap.
Yes, it's not an unreasonable expense for what it's doing, but that did come up during discussions that there is a
Okay.
possibility of offset.
Are we exploring that then at least just to see?
It's something that I had talked with Teresa about, and we would talk further with state's attorney and the chief judge's office if this gets approved. But right now, the priority is to get this in place.
To get it in place and make sure it works. Okay.
Ending the current support.
Okay,
Thank you.
any other questions? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Should be aye.
Caius.
Bias, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes. Item B, I may have a motion second to present potentially approve a resolution authorizing an amendment to current software Alto Vista ARX Alert Enterprise to Tyler Public Safety Systems for the Kane County Sheriff's Office. Moved by
Gums will move.
Thumbs, second by
One of you two.
Go for it.
Garcia,
Garcia. Thank you. I can't do it. I'd move it right along. Oh, can I? Oh, well, excuse me. I'll speed this
No, you
thing
can
up,
do all
guys.
day.
Come on, get on this. All right. Mr. Lasky?
Yes, so this is another Tyler product that is currently being used in the sheriff's office. Now, this is an unusual situation. Tyler actually bought out this product and they're lowering the annual price for us. So so this is
Just a
a
minute, I
very
gotta go get some
unusual.
confetti from my back.
So the
Celebrate.
product, when it was purchased, the sheriff's office had reviewed it and it's something that helped with their processes. And it was a $77,000 a year expense. Tyler purchased the company, and if we enter this new agreement, the product changes name, changes just a name, all the functionality stays the same, and the cost goes down to just over $20,000 a year annually. So it's something that, again, we sent this over for review with state's attorney, so we're hoping this is something that if they have time to finish the review before executive committee, otherwise we may have to delay this 1 month, but it's something we're hoping to do because it's something that actually is a cost reduction without any type of service or a product reduction.
And we didn't have to do any work. How about that? On the board. Okay, any questions? Buy it before it changes. Roll call, please.
Garcia,
yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Should be aye.
Caius.
Bias, yes. Okay. On then to graphic information systems. And this is Mr. Lebo. Did I pronounce that right?
What was the question?
The name.
Oh, Kurt Lebo, Kane County GIS.
Okay. I'll do the resolution first here. May have a motion second to present and potentially approve a professional services resolution with NV5 for GIS professional services, $270,000 over 3 years. Moved by
Gums,
second by
Sonia was second.
Garcia.
Yes.
Okay, Kurt, you're up.
Okay. Yeah, this is a professional services contract with NV5. And the intent is to use them as on-call services as needed over the next 3 years, maximum amount of $90,000 each year. We did go out to bid number 25-044 TK. And we had 4 vendors respond to that, and we picked the most responsible bidder, which was NV5.
And are there any questions for Kurt? Mr. Roth?
Are we currently doing service, or we're using them for service currently?
They are currently under contract with KDOT.
Okay. So we're comfortable that they're dependable. Okay.
Yeah, very comfortable with them. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. And this is from fees, the 270?
Well,
That's
it's-
correct. These two resolutions are both through the GIS fee, so this is not using any general fund for either of these two resolutions.
Okay, just to clarify.
And it's 270 over 3 years, so it's
It's
90,000 a year.
3 times 9 is 27. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Guys, yes. May I have a motion second to present and potentially approve a resolution authorizing approval of ortho oblique imagery. Moved by
Gums will move.
second by
Gums will second. I'm joking.
Sonia will second.
Garcia. I'm gonna make you guys work. I'm not gonna cut.
But you just got told you could work.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So this is a contract for ortho and oblique imagery. You might ask actually what that is. Ortho imagery is a plane is going to fly the county, point a camera straight down, send all those images. It'll be like what you see in Google Maps. And oblique imagery is the camera will fly and have cameras pointing at an angle. So every parcel in the county will have images at an angle from north, south, east, and west. So that's primarily what this contract consists of. It's for $746,550. It will be spent over a period of 6 years. They'll actually do flights every year, but complete the oblique imagery every 3 years. There's also software associated with this that we integrate with all the products that we serve out to the various departments in the county.
Okay.
That's,
Anything else?
any questions?
Juby.
Just have one. So the oldest a picture is going to be is 3 years old. If they're doing it over a 3-year cycle, so they take a picture of A in the first year and then, the middle of the alphabet and so by the time they
It's
get,
actually a 2-year cycle.
oh, so it's a 2-year cycle. Okay, so the oldest is 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cause I noticed like the detail where you could see where the seal cracking was and stuff. And I thought this is a really cool thing. And I also questioned why they were insuring planes because I was not paying attention when I was doing the flyby. But anyway, so that's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, this imagery actually is way crisper. It's 1-inch pixels, so it will be crazy clear. If you want to look at a crack, you'll be able to see it.
I know I saw the cracks on there. I was like, wow, they really need to resurface in that neighborhood. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Garcia,
Garcia, yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Juby,
Juby, I.
Caius.
Yes. Thanks, Kurt.
Yep.
Anything from
Before you,
Mill Creek?
No.
No vehicles for purchase, just for those on the committee that are new, all the new vehicles pass through here, purchasing. Is there any new business from staff or any old business from staff or
Wait, I think something.
Mr. Roth?
Something was missed in GIS. And the rumor is there's a GIS day coming up.
Oh, there is not a rumor. There is a GIS day coming up November 19th. And I think it's the 23rd year that the county has had this. It's kind of a worldwide event and we host and showcase our GIS products and a bunch of departments come in and talk about its use. And it's if you're a county board member, it's a great time to come in and see how we spend your money.
This is down in the,
It's in the auditorium.
Auditorium.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock till 2 o'clock on the 19th. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
Well, I'm always there because I'm one of the nerds.
Okay. May I have a motion to second place, motion and a second to place the reports on file?
Gums would ask for unanimous consent to place the reports on file.
Gums has asked for unanimous consent. Is there any objection? Hearing none, reports are on file. We do have need for executive session has been requested.
Mr. Chair Gums,
Yes?
I would request we enter into executive session. I'm going to add a couple things. Don't be mad at me. For possible and probable litigation, sale or purchase of a particular property and security of the county buildings.
Okay. Did you-
Second,
It won't be what?
It won't be long.
It won't be long. We just got the kiss of death from that one.
Yep. Did you bring pizza?
That's like.
There was imminent and probable
Okay, well,
and
I think everybody's dismissed back there. Thank you for your attendance, except for maybe at least a portion of it from our,
I would like,
KDOT. And unless there's
Mr. Chair, I would like, I think our
KDOT.
buildings folks can stay. I would like our buildings folks to stay. Charles can stay.
Yep, Mark, I think Mark should stay
Mark,
probably.
yeah, Mark can stay.
Would that be just for a portion that has to do with building
No,
security?
they can
then?
stay for the whole thing.
Well, just a minute here. I appreciate your allowing it, but is that appropriate, Mr. State's Attorney?
If they don't relate to this litigation, then they should not be here for that.
Okay,
Are we going to address that last
I'm
or
out for
first?
litigation conversation. Let's do that
Okay,
one
let's-
first.
Let's do it first. Okay, we'll call on you, Mark, if you don't mind. Here.
All of us.
For litigation? I'm afraid so, yeah.
Uh,
Well, apologize.
All right, a reminder for
Did you do
those
the roll
in the
call?
room
Did
that
not
are
take-
online, you must leave
Roll
the
call.
Zoom before we can
Roll
begin.
call.
Roll
Okay.
call.
Can I have roll call? We have a motion, seconded by Juby. Roll call, please.
Garcia. Gums.
Be
Gums.
yes.
Gums, yes.
GBI.
Caius.
Caius, yes. But- Well, we're going to call you back in when it comes up to your turn, but this
I'm
isn't
gonna call you
litigation.
I'll call you back in a minute.
I apologize. We probably should do this the other way around, but now we got them going out here.
Okay. $12:03.
I'm not sure where we're at on this. It's been moved and seconded and voted on that we're going into closed session. Do you make your announcement then? Or do we need roll call? You let us know then, Blair, when we're in executive session. And we'll do roll call. When the computer.
Okay, Mr. Caius, you need to leave the Zoom. I think you're still in.
Oh, I apologize.
And I think Molina and Penesis are remote, so please accept your invites.
And who moved in second?
Gums.
Gums was moved, motion, and second was